Boom, I had my audio off. Sorry about that, you guys. My audio off. Looking at meta here now. Boom, I had my audio off. Sorry about that, you guys. Watching Easy Inch Pro on meta. See if we can get a break in the high day here. There's a pullback. We got about a minute left in this candle to see if we produce the pro. Be careful. If you take a trade on this one here, you don't want to get ousted on it. You want to get above that high a day, and you want that Easy Inch Pro to close above. NBIS making its break. Ten seconds left in this candle on Meta. There we go. Whoops. We have an Easy Inch Pro on Meta, but we got to wait for that to break. We also have an Easy Inch Pro on Palantir. So we got a no-go on Meta so far. Just watching. It's a little bit choppy here. See if we can trust Meta. Good job on MSTR, Greg. If NBIS breaks high a day, this would be nice. Waiting on Meta. Waiting to see if NBIS breaks this high here. There we go. We're up about 9%. Hit a high of $5 on Meta here. Buy-in was $4.15. Come on, let's get our mark. We want our mark. Still up $5 for about 85 per contract. Almost to the goal. We got to hit our goal here. We're almost to our goal on Meta. You don't see it up on there because I took it in a different account. I have another small account that I'm taking this in. Okay, we're up 505, 510, 520. We're going to take some off the board right here. Take a little bit of Meta off right here. It's $100 a contract right there. So $525. I will not go red on these leftover contracts. So my buy-in was between 415 and 419. My best fill was my starter at $3.50, but that one. Let's see here. Good job. See if we can hit $6 on Meta. NBIS pushing. A little bit too risky for me in my smaller account, so I'm gonna back down on NBIS. You can see it's a little volatile there. Those big wicks to the downside. I don't really want to go through that. Still up about 1,500 on Palantir. You guys can see that live. It's on the live stream. You can see that. If you are on the live stream, remember that you're going to be a couple minutes behind. You're going to be lagging. If you want free access into the room, just click the links below. $565 per contract on Meta. We're holding for $6. I'm holding for $6 here. See if we can get it. We're almost there, a little over halfway. Got 650s, holding 650s on Meta. Actually, you know what? I might take one off here. Let's see what this is going to do real quick. Let's see. We've got a hammer candle there in the 10 seconds. So I'm going to hang tight. I was thinking about if we bust below the CIZ. We might have a CIZ trade here, you guys. Nope. Did not take out. Good. Let's see if we can get this a little bit higher. I want to get $6. High is $5.90. My goal is $6 per contract. Boom. Closed out Palantir. Palantir's closed out. So I'm taking one off here, $6.10. Got a nice fill, 620. So took a contract off there. Next goal, $6.50, maybe $7. Let's see if we can get this on Meta. Looking for the far side of the crush it zone on Meta. Let me blow this up here so you can see it. You won't see it on the live stream because I am playing this in another account that I have. But I will share the numbers with you. I'll post them on Instagram and whatnot later on today. $6.50. We'll take another one off there because we're at the far side of the CIZ. I'm looking at distance. If we break the CIZ, come back and retest it, then maybe we'll add a small position back into it. But right now, let's just hang on to the last two contracts we have here and see if we can't hit $7. We're about $25 away. $20. Come on, give it to us. No. So I'm not going to panic and jump out of the trade because we got to pull back and think that, hey, you know what? I could have had an extra $20 per contract. That's not the mindset, you guys. You got to hold. You got to hold. Okay, my stop out will be green. I'll stop out green on these last couple contracts if I get below 650, 649.50 and hold. 649.50 and hold. That's my stop. So in Meta here, if I get below this level right here, I will get out of the trade. That's a big enough pullback for me on those trailers. Yep. But it is hard to hold on, but if you collect data and you understand it, then you know that it's going to run at least $3 every time. It's going to run at least $3, especially when you get the Easy Entry Pro. So, there's your entry right there on Meta. Okay. I got one fill. I got one contract left. I set an order in for $7 and I got filled on it. So I got one contract. Next one, let's shoot for $8. The thing is, if you go in big, if you buy 10, 15 contracts to start with, and you trim the first half, 70, 80, $100 a contract, it's a lot easier to hang on to those trailers. I can tell you that. We are producing a CIZ signal on the 1 minute on Meta. So I will not go red on these trailers. That I guarantee you. But I'm willing to hang on to here. Another thing I'll tell you about the CIZ, remember you guys, in the CIZ here is if you break 50%, right? If we hold below the 50%, there's a good chance, this is how I read price action, there's a good chance it's going to continue down and give us a CIZ play. So, right, I'm still in those trailers, 530. I'm not up as much as I was before, but takes a lot of mental fortitude to hold through this, especially when you see a CIZ play taking place right now. That's a CIZ is a reversal, right? So there's a reversal play taking place, but we don't know if this reversal is going to hold or not. So that's what we don't want to get too panicky, not yet. So right now, if you're not focused in on the price action and you're talking to yourself, what's happening is you're going to talk yourself out of the trade. You're going to tell yourself, well, you know what? This is good enough. I'm going to get out of the trade. You know what? I don't want to go through the torture. You're going through this mental torture of trying to hang on. How much money you had, what you've seen, and now how much less you have now. And you're kind of going, you know what? Fuck it. Just get out of the trade. So it's tough. It is mentally tough. So. You can see I only have Meta up here. It's the only thing I want to focus on. If I put my watch list up and start looking at other tickers at the moment, what's going to happen is my eyes are going to float, and I'm going to be out of this trade. I am out of Meta right now. I got an easy entry on the 10-second to the downside. This could break. It could work out, but at this point here, I'm not going to go red on these. So I'm at 515. I'm about $100 per contract, and this is my goal right here. If we break back above the crush it zone on Meta and retest it, I'll consider a possible re-entry for a bigger move to the upside throughout the day here. So I'm all done right now on Meta on that last contract. To me, it was worth it. After I just get done telling you to hold, but you remember I had quite a few contracts there, and I held pretty well. And on the lower time frame here, I did get below my level there. And it is producing a CIZ trade. We get a cloud shift on the 10-second, and we'll see how that turns out. So, all right, back to the drawing board. Let's see if we get another play today. Tesla did have an easy entry pro also here, a choppy one. Now remember, we only need $2. We got about $1.80, so. $1.80 move on Tesla is not bad. It's not the best, but it's also not bad. So. I think I might try a Meta CIZ trade here. Small, very small position here. See if it works out. Give myself a second here. Looking at 650s, 650 puts. Wait for that little bit of a bounce here. I want to get a rejection here, so. See what this does in the 10-second. Nothing yet, but I'm considering 650 puts on Meta right now. Just waiting. Watching the 10-second chart. There's a rejection off the midline on the cloud. Brief rejection. We do have high volume to the upside for a moment there, and now we're looking There we go. Okay, I got a one contract starter. If we break low a day, I'll add to that trade. So I got a one contract starter on Meta, 650 puts. If we can break low, not low of day, but if we can break this recent low, my bad. If we break this recent low right here and get into the cloud on the 1 minute, I will consider another contract. But for right now, we're just sitting on one contract. Down 2% on this. So, and I don't know, I might not even add to it. I might just leave this one. NBIS looks very interesting to the downside. We got a leg reset. We got a leg reset on NBIS, which is an easy entry pro, above the cloud to the downside here. So this will be interesting what happens here on NBIS. Down 4% on Meta here. So gotta be careful on Meta also because the way it moves, if you're not used to the volatility, you can get into panic mode. Leg reset on NQ also. Look at NQ to the downside here. We got that leg reset. We got a Easy Incher Pro, which you don't see it on there. I don't have it on there, but there's an Easy Incher Pro there. But look at how it's coming into the Bollinger Bands there at the midline. So you got confluence right there. It's going to have to pull up here real quick before it channels to the downside. Possibility. So far sitting in just one contract on Meta to the downside, looking at a CIZ play possibility. See if we get stopped out or if we're going to get a little extra money on this. NBIS. There's your easy entry. Should we try some NBIS here? 160s. Not going to risk too much here. We'll see. I don't mind trying one contract on these, but I'm not going to risk too much. We're up currently $17,093 on Palantir from that Palantir trade today. So, if I lose, a couple $100 trying to make one of these work, it's not the end of the world. There you go. NBIS starting to produce here a little bit. Let's see what this does here. 160 puts an NBS to the downside. Guys, I'm not in very big on this at all. See if we can't get maybe a 20 or 30% return on NBIS. And then Meta. Once again, one contract down $40 roughly on this one here. So we'll keep playing that. So see if we can break here in NBIS. I'll consider some more NBIS to the downside. That's a tongue twister. Patience, patience, patience. So to keep your mind from thinking about, you know, the panic mode or getting in and out of the trade, you're worrying about losing your money, try to think about other things. Fill your mind with other thoughts. You know, think about what your target is. Think about where you're at, what you're doing. You know, on Meta, I'm looking for 647-ish, 646.50, and NBIS, I'm just looking for a break of 159.30-ish, roughly there. And we'll see what it does. And don't be afraid to take the play. I mean, literally, don't be afraid. The odds are in your favor. Remember that the odds are definitely in your favor. So, but then again, don't be trying to YOLO a whole small account on this either. You gotta be smart. Easy Entry Pro on Tesla. And yes, I'm more interested in Tesla down to pre-market lows right here. I think we got a good opportunity on Tesla to pre-market lows. There we go. We're up on NBIS, up 4%. Nothing huge, $25, but we'll take it. No Easy Entry Pro on Tesla, so we're going to let that one go. Just kind of waiting. Things are kind of consolidating right now. And we're pushing about 11 points per candle on NQ, which is pretty low. Part of me just wants to get out of NBIS. It's only one contract, I know, but I'm getting bored with it. We'll give it one more candle here. Remember, guys, the trades, they either work or they don't. So if it's not working, you know, I want the ones that work. And if I get out of this trade sooner than later, even if it does work out later on, it's not like I don't want to sit here and babysit this thing for an hour and a half waiting for it to break it, you know. In an hour and a half, if it breaks, I'll take it then. I don't need to sit here and watch it. So that's just how I roll. The max I'll sit is maybe 4 candles. This one here's on its second candle. It has broken, but we're just waiting for NBIS to actually move now. Same thing with Meta. It did break on the lower time frame. Still a little bit ambiguous. You can see on Meta here how I have my, you know, my scales right in here. That just tells me that if I don't get a break within these candles here, then I'm most likely just going to bail on the trade. Even if it works out later, I don't care. You know, bump this up here just a little bit. See how it extends these out. So if price gets to the point where, you know, I'm past this and it still hasn't broken yet, I'll just get out of the trade. It's like I said, I want trades that are going to actually move. I don't want ones that are going to sit there and consolidate. And if you're playing options, you know, you got to worry about theta, decay. So, so I don't really want to deal with it. Sitting flat right now. I know, in like 5 more candles, NBIS will break to the downside and say, hey, why didn't you just hang on to it? You got to be patient. If you look at the data and you look at the history of our trades, they usually work within 2 to 3 candles. If they're not working within 2 to 3 candles, there's a higher probability it's not going to work out in your favor, and it's going to be a choppy rodeo. And most people won't be able to ride through that mentally. They don't have the mental fortitude for it. So. Let's look at some of the other tickers I have here real quick. AAOI. Old MacDonald had a farm. AAOI. This one, look at how choppy it is. It takes time to break, but it does break. It does end up breaking about 3 or 4 candles later. You get about a $5 move on AAOI on that Easy Entry Pro. SNDK. Yeah, that moved. Got 2 SNDKs on here. Hood. I mean, you got some decent Easy Entry Pros, right? We can't complain. Not every day is going to be, you know, a big day. So sometimes you just got to take the little ones, take your base hits. So you got CIZ, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're in your 5th candle right now. Meta's trying to break to the downside. It's still inside the ORB. Definitely would help if it got back into the ORB. But I thought, you know, there's a good chance if you did take the CIZ, you could take it to that ORB or at least down to 646. And then going back to NQ, I talked about this one here. We had that move to the downside. Your distance, we came into the Bollinger Bands here. We had some confluence in here. And you can see, look at this. We got a nice move back up to the upside, to the top side of the ORB there on NQs. Not the best price action on the Qs or the SPY. So we're kind of, what are we above the? Let's reload this up here. So SPX above the crush it zone. QQQ not quite there. So SPY's looking strong. Stronger. You see, this is why I get out of NBIS and Metas. You know, if I sit in here and I got same day expirations or next day, I'm just going to get, you know, a theta kill there. Good job on TQQQ, Amir. Took a swing trade on that to the upside. That's what I got. Q's looking a little choppy, but you had a nice gap up last night. So good job on TQs. So it's one of those days. We get easy entry pro, but we don't get ginormous runs, which is fine. We don't need the best ones, the biggest ones, to make good money. This here, we had a $5 run on Meta, right? $5 run. The buy-in, my earliest buy-in was $3.50, right? And the rest of them were at $4.15, and it got to $7. So if you're at about, you're at about $300 per contract on that one. Good job, Amir, for taking that one too. That was good. Meta to the upside into that CIZ. So you guys, you're wondering, like, so we take the Easy Entry Pro, right? I'll just tell you real quick, for those of you that are listening on the stream, is that the crush it zone is a special zone that I engineered and developed, that most tickers will have what we call like a stop zone. It stops, price reacts. And so a lot of times when we're taking Easy Entry Pros, what we want to do is we want to take price into the zone, and you can see, just like magic, we get a reaction right here. And a lot of times it's a reversal zone, and we get a signal saying there's a possible reversal here. And when price breaks that zone, we usually, and sometimes, will get a big move, a reversal move on those. So you can see here's one that happened yesterday on Meta. Here's your Easy Entry Pro. To the upside, you have two CIZ trades, one going up and one going down. Okay, so like I said, this is a engineered zone that we did here in Crush It Trading, and this tells you exactly where to take price to. You can get out of most of your trades, and you can hold too. So this is what helps you hold the trade, not get out too early either. MU with a break on the Easy Entry Pro right here. There's your entry right there. If you're paying attention, I didn't see it. Sorry, I would have called it out earlier, but I was going to have floating eyes. Here's your break right here. Right. So what I'll do here is I'll show you guys on the stream. If I just copy and paste this here on MU, where do we take this price to, right? We're inside the ORB, so this blue line, this blue box here is the ORB. And if we break through this ORB with an Easy Entry Pro, then we're looking for a move into the crush it zone. So far you do have an Easy Entry Pro on MU to the upside. So far it's produced about a $3 move, not bad. It's enough to eat your spread up. Definitely would probably take profits at the ORB there, and then once you break through the ORB and pre-market high, then add to that trade for a move to the CIZ. So that's where I would be if I take MU at this point, because the Easy Entry Pro is already working out. You can see we have it here. Let me blow this up so you can see it. We already have the Easy Entry Pro right here, right? And it's already breaking that level. We have another Easy Entry Pro right here. So that's the level that we're trying to break. It broke. And the problem is now we're running into pre-market highs. So distance should always be in the forefront of your mind when taking these trades. And you don't want to be getting in late, right when you're getting into a key level here. And this one here is pre-market high. So what I would do is just wait for some kind of break, maybe a retest of that pre-market high, and then enter into that trade, small position for a move into the crush it zone. And if you are playing the Easy Entry Pro, what time is it? We got 10:18. We got our trade. You know, if you want to sit here all day and try to scalp these, you certainly can. But I think we're at that point now where we're probably done trading for the day here. Most likely. Didn't take a futures trade. Not that I remember. I don't think I did. So you can see on MU, you got your rejection at pre-market. This is why we would take profits. This is why I would not get into that trade going into the pre-market high. Okay, this thing could still rip higher, right? But we still have to be smart about this. Wait for that break and that retest, probably on the 1 minute, 30-second chart. You'd wait for that move to take place. Just sitting here, nothing to do. Might put some Crush It trading music on. I'll keep the volume low. Mic check. Sorry about that. Had to reload the page. Still just chilling, waiting. See if we get some kind of setup here, some movement, but it's looking like the day might be over. Yeah, Tesla had a decent easy inch probe. We'll recap that in a little bit. We needed a $2 move on it. No stress when the bills come through. Whole team eating, that's wealth too. Built this life from discipline. Now I celebrate what I'm living in. Designer dreams, but the heart stay grounded. Rich in wisdom, that's compounded. Private flights, but I still stay humble. Strong foundation, never crumble. Built for this, born to win. Level up, do it again. Built for this, born to win. Self-made glow, let it begin. So still be watching Meta here. If we get a break above the crush it zone and a retest here, I said I would possibly re-enter this trade. So I'm watching that. You know, the question is did we miss Tesla? You know, you could have taken it. It is working out. You can see we did get to the first scale. It took a long time. This is what I'm talking about real quick when I talk about either the trade works or it doesn't. This is one of those where we had the Easy Entry Pro kind of right in here. And we get another Easy Entry Pro in here for that move to the upside. What just happened here? So here's the Easy Entry Pro. Oh yeah, here it is right here. And we'll draw a level. So this is it's a winning trade. And you certainly could have played it. No problem. But a lot of times I like the ones that work. So you can see you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, about 13 candles, roughly about a little over half an hour, 45 minutes for this trade to actually work out. So it is a good trade if you have the mental fortitude to sit through this. You do get a break to the upside. You do get a $1.70. We want to hit a $2 target as our target on Tesla. So you do get a little bit of rodeo. If you can mentally hold through this, yes. And if you're willing to pay attention for 45 minutes to that one ticker, waiting for that to break, the problem you run into emotionally on this is, first of all, you get your break now, the Easy Entry Pro, but you've already tried it, right? Possibly, or maybe you didn't, but you've seen it come back. So you're already convincing yourself that there's a good chance it may not work out. And then we got to break, above the ORB here in the 5 minute. So at the end of the day, so how do you play this? It's like, for me, either A, I just wait for that break. I erase everything in my mind that happened previous, right? Because if you look at the Easy Entry Pros, once they break, they usually go. But this is a tougher trade. So that's why I said I don't mind not taking the trade. If it's not working out within 5 candles, at least, 3 or 4, I don't mind walking away from it. I don't. You can see that we had plenty of other trades today that worked out just fine. And one of those was on Meta, right? We had our Easy Entry Pro right here. And look at within a candle or two, right? It just worked out. So, and you'll notice this like 90% of the time. And if you're, not anxious here to try to make money on every trade, everything and every opportunity, you got to have the win, you got to have the trade, then you're going to do fine. You got to let some of them, walk away from some trades. You don't have to take them all, right? So that's why I said, yes, Tesla worked out and it was a good trade. And if you made money on it, congratulations. There's nothing wrong with taking it. It's a personal preference. I just, I'm kind of falling into that, the idea of just if it doesn't work, I really don't want anything to do with it because it does become choppy at that point, a little lethargic. And, do you know if it's going to shoot straight up? Is it going to run or is it going to come back? Is it going to give us some big wakes? Nobody knows, right? And so once again, I just chilling. Right now, my stock that I would rather look at is Meta for the break here. You can see it is breaking the CIZ. So I would look for, see if I can draw this in here, right? Looking for a retest in this area right here, kind of down here, and then I move the upside. And you can see our Pivot Pro Plus actually produced a pivot here, right? And now, because we have that, it's telling us that price is going to want to move to the down before it moves back up again. So when would we get into this trade? It's just what I've been talking about. Either A, you can take the retest of the bottom of this candle down in here for the move to the upside, or you can wait for a break of the 654 level, which will confirm this pivot right here, right? Whether it's to the upside or the downside. So we kind of got price cornered a little bit, okay? When I say that, because we're either going to break to the upside or the downside of this pivot. This is a pivot candle. Okay, it's telling us that price is going to go one way or the other, but the preference right now is it's going to pull back. Whether it's, 25 cents or $1, we don't know. But we'll watch. If it does continue to the downside and breaks the bottom half of the pivot, then we know we can expect price to get down to the ORB, or we got another level down in here at the 5 minute ORB, I'm sorry. And what is this level we have here marked at 646.50, right? So we'll just kind of watch that. This is where I want to be. I don't really want to be looking at anything else. I will keep the watch list up here so you can see everything else. But my, my eyes are over here on this side here. And if I take something, it's definitely going to be a grinder, maybe 1 or 2 contracts, and we'll try to hang on to it. Worst case scenario, what happens? I don't know, you get stopped out. Not the end of the world. 9 times out of 10, these are going to work out. So if I get stopped out one of them, I'm not really going to worry about it. As long as I don't oversize, right? Just don't oversize. So let's just sit here and wait. And if you are in Tesla, the next level that I would try to hit is 364-ish, roughly. I would try to get a trim at 364. I do have a level marked at 364.50, so we'll see how that plays out. Good job there on Tesla, Amir. Meta looking good. She's up almost $9 a contract. Looking for 657. Didn't get as big a pullback as we wanted on that, but I'm out Meta. But I did take a couple extras here in a different account. So just on this, just nothing big. But I am out Meta on my other accounts. I said if we get this break of the CIZ, if we get the break of the CIZ and we get a retest, I'm going to take it. So I just took a couple contracts in here. About 12 seconds left in this candle. Hopefully it holds above our pivot. And like I said, generally when you get above the pivot, one way or the other, you're going to get, you know, $1 or $2 move out of it. So let's keep our fingers crossed and see if Meta now gives us a move to the upside. We just broke that pivot to the upside on Meta. And this might be a slower trade. This might take some time. So this is another reason why I'm not going to go big on it, just a few contracts. I actually took two different strike prices, 660 and 655. And I'm looking for high day. But had you, had I, had 50 contracts, let's just say, you were asking, hey, am I still in Meta? Had I had 50 contracts on Meta, right? Yeah, I'd still be in the trade. I will keep 5% of that position, but if I have 10 contracts, and I keep 3 of them, I'm in 30% of my position. I won't do that. That's just not how I manage my risk. So I'm currently down on these about $300. I do like NQ here for a possible move down to the ORB. Yes, it's slow, it's lethargic, but if you're willing to hold through it, I think we have an opportunity for NQ to head down. Hey, is anybody in this room right now, in the live room? Are you guys, anybody on YouTube watching the stream at all? Who's that? That's my phone. So we're up about 7% and 15. I'm about 115, so 125. I'm gonna get rid of the 660s, I think. So just have 5 contracts with the 655s left on Meta. Remember, I took that pivot and I had all the probability in my favor, right? I had at least a 90% chance of getting a $1, $2 move on this, and we got a $3 move already, so we're looking good. I just have 5 left here, and I'm going to take those down. I'm going to take 3 off here now. I'm just going to hang on to 2. Once again, this is just a scalp. This isn't something I'm trying to hang on. If it was going to be a grinder for a few candles on that scalp, that's fine, but I got my target, so there's no sense in trying to hang on to all of these. I'm going to hang on to 2 contracts and see if I can get a little bit of a better move on it. Up roughly about 8% on it, so. Hang on 1 second here. I got to take a call. You could be on the national do not call list and you're still going to get calls from people, right? All right. So still up about $40 on these last two contracts. I won't go red on them. And we're going to get out of the trade now. So that was a nice little scalp trade there on Meta. Once again, this thing could go up another 8 points. That's not the point. That's not how I'm playing this. So just taking little scalp trades. Puts our total P&L for the day roughly $17,495. I don't think I'll be taking any more trades at all today. So, and then I got another small account, which we have another $800, almost $800 that we made on Meta to the upside here earlier. Only playing the Easy Entry Pro. So time 10:47. I'm going to do a recap here. I know some of you guys don't like when I do a recap in the middle of the day like this sometimes, but if I look at the price action right now, I want to kind of get it over and done with. So there's really nothing here to trade. I know as soon as I start talking recap, there's going to be something that's going to pop up. And the recap, the thing with Easy Entry Pro, when you do the recap, it's not like it's, this in-depth recap. It's very simple. Easy Entry Pro, you take the trade, you got your scales, you got your target. If you get stopped out, take the next one. It's literally that easy. So we'll just kind of recap real quick what the trades were, which ones worked and which ones did not work. As a matter of fact, I'm going to do it right now. So first thing I want to look at is Palantir. I started this yesterday. So if I go to the 2-hour chart real quick here on Palantir, yeah, you can't really see it, but I do have an Easy Entry Pro right here, a green candle. And you can see price came down. So I took a rather large position right in here. Let me see if I can put this up. So there's your Easy Entry Pro. Okay. Take it off scalp mode. There is right here. This is what I played. Okay. This was the Easy Entry Pro. So I took it for an overnighter. This is the 2-hour chart, right? My target was a couple things. Either it had to work out within like 2 or 3 days, or I had to hit 30, 40, 50%, or kind of this level right in here. And, well, as you heard, I had about a $15,000+ day. So took the profits on that. So that was the first trade. Easy entry pro on the 2 hour. You can see these 2 hours work very, very well. Very, very well. Let me turn the chop shield down on this here. Chop shield do give you more opportunities, more choppy. And then we'll turn it off scalp mode here. And you can see that the best, this is where you get the best setups. Okay, in that. Okay, this right here. Chop shield 1. Scalp mode off. That's where you can get your best setups. You had a really nice setup here. So this one here was kind of like a scalp swing. It wasn't meant to be, you know, a move all the way up. Like I said, I told you my target. So now if I go over to the 3 minute today, you can see we gapped up overnight on that Easy Entry Pro and went in kind of heavy and sold most of it. I sold all of it here, so I'm out of the trade now. And as far as day trades go on Palantir, if you guys see a trade that you want me to, I'll stop and I'll talk about a trade. If you see something setting up and you think it's worth it, just let me know and I'll stop what I'm doing here and we'll pull that screen up. Easy Entry Pro, we don't get a break here, not right now. And like I said, if they don't work out, 1, 2, 3, 4, it just didn't work. It did end up working about, 10 candles later, 12 candles later, but you really didn't get too much out of it. It kind of stumbled here at the ORB and moved back in. So, and like I said, this is why I just walk away from it. If they don't work, I just walk away. I get out very clean, a very small loss, considering, right? So not bad. NBIS did take an attempt on this with one contract. Probably could have got into this one here a little bit earlier. This one's got the chop shield turned up. So if I turn the chop shield down here on the leg reset, good chance I should have gotten into this trade here, right here. And I could have gotten a better trade on it, but I had it set up for a more predictable trade, higher probable. There was more, looking for more confluence. And so that's why we got the second one. But if you had taken the first one, you did have a nice $2.42 move to the downside. But for me, it didn't work. I ended up stopping out. And once again, it was only one contract starter because it didn't really break. I didn't really lose that much. I think like $40, I think it was. And the big guy of the day here, I can't talk. The big trade for me was the Easy Entry Pro on Meta. Once again, I don't want to make this difficult because it's not. You get your Easy Entry Pro, the play either works or it doesn't. This one worked out. And we got a CIZ. Okay, I told you about the CIZ. It's a something that we created here in the Crush It trading room. It's a special zone throughout the day where price generally reacts or price goes to and reacts. It either reverses, excuse me, it either reverses or it pushes. And in this case, we did get the reversal a little bit. I did try one, didn't work out. Not a big deal. Took the loss. Guess what? I took it to the upside. I told you, once it breaks, if you get the retest, I'll take it to the upside. Well, we ended up getting a pivot candle right here showing that, hey, it's most likely going to break to one side or the other, and it broke to the upside. 90% chance when this thing breaks these pivot candles that you're most likely going to get that run. This is a scalp move, and that's all it was. If it didn't work, not a big deal. Not a big deal. We don't, we're out of the trade. So we're not going to hang on forever waiting for this thing to work out. So like I said, if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. We get the hell out of it. It's the biggest reason traders don't make money is because they try to hang on to a trade too long going, well, last time I hung on, it worked out like 75 candles later. That's not the same trade anymore. So you got to get rid of that mindset, right? Get rid of that mindset. Did I do MU yet? MU. We have an Easy Entry Pro right here. Once again, a lot of candles. A little bit different situation here. This is Easy Entry Pro. We do get a break. This is a nice winning trade. It is clean, right? Clean at the break, right? This is clean at the break. This isn't even messing around at the zone. Now, I can take and change this. Watch. I'll take the Easy Entry Pro here. All I got to do is turn the regular hours on. Had it off because I was swing trading it. And you can see there's the Easy Entry Pro. One and done. Look at that. It just works out immediately to the upside, right? But because they had the regular hours on or the regular hours off, I knew from the pre-market that this thing was most likely one of moving to the upside with that Easy Entry Pro, right? But not to confuse you, here it is right here. One candle break, nice move to the upside. There's nothing else to this, you guys. It's that easy. Tesla had an easy entry pro also. I explained to you earlier why I did not take this one. They either work or they don't, and I was actually in other trades at the time too, so you can't take them all. But this one here, if you had taken it on the break here, you would have gotten something out of it. Maybe almost $100 a contract, maybe $70 a contract, somewhere in there. Who knows? Now, if you're willing to ride the rodeo, you got another break right in here where it actually works out. You do get another easy entry pro. Let's see if I can scalp mode. So let me turn scalp mode off here for a second here. And let me turn it. Oh yeah, you know what? We don't get it. So, but we do have one. Another one. All right. So yeah, this Tesla move, this is the only easy entry pro you got. So price did attempt. It pulled back. Maybe you held through it. Maybe you didn't. It's tough to hold. This is why, if it doesn't work out immediately, this is why I just walk away. I would rather have taken that meta trade that broke that pivot, same candle and moved on that scalp trade versus trying to hang on through this and then taking that trade. Because I know psychologically what's going to happen is you finally break the level. Then you're going to go, well, now I got to break the high. Now I got to break the ORB. Now I get another green candle, which is showing, we got momentum. Well, now it's too far. How far is it going to go now? You got all these things going in your head. So that's why at the end of the day, just take the trade. And then if you get stopped, you get stopped. Okay. And then the last one I'll do is NVIDIA, and we'll take a peek at the Qs here, Amir. You do have an easy entry pro right here. Once again, it doesn't work. Look at all the candles. Not interested. Not interested. Now, you do get an easy entry pro. This is what I call like a minor signal. You got one right here and another one right here. And, these will bring that level down. You could have taken this here up to the ORB, which is about 93 cents, about 50%, 5%, or I'm sorry, 0.5% on that one. So, all right. Qs are 13 points away. SPY only 6, okay, from all-time highs. Yeah. Yep. Qs. Excuse the messy charts here. Yeah, we're going to most likely hit all-time highs. Congrats to Amir, who bought, I think the Qs are the SPY, down in this area down here off that 50 and off this level we had here. So very, very, very nice trade. Nice swing trade on that one also. Here is, let's go to the daily on this one here. Yeah, nice trade. So yeah, we're almost to all-time highs. It's going to be interesting to see what happens here. Yeah, you absolutely crushed it. Amir crushed that swing. If you're in the Crusher Trading Room, if you want to get into the Crusher Trading Room, you should check it out because we use the Easy Entry Pro on a lot of this stuff. And if you look at, real quick, if you look at the SPY here, if you can look through a little bit of the mess, it's because my chart's set up for intraday, so I have the daily on here, and it's tough to see some of the stuff, but I'm not going to go erase it all. But look at what you have right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days ago. You have an Easy Entry Pro on the daily, and you get a 33-point move on the SPY. Okay. I mean, what else do I say? It's that easy. Yes, it is that easy. Okay. You got to trust it. You just have to be able to trust it. Easy Entry Pro. Enter like a pro. Oh. Anyways, and if I go down to the 4-hour, you'll see the same thing. Okay, a premonition of what's happening here. You get an Easy Entry Pro to the upside here in the 4. Right? Let's go down to SPY, or was I on Qs or SPYs? Okay, Qs. Sorry, I'm getting confused here. Let's go to the daily here. Let's see if we get an Easy Entry Pro on this one here. Once again, I apologize for my messy charts. These are messy because I have it set up for intraday. So if we put it on scalp mode here, you can see scalp mode on the daily gives you a lot of different opportunities, and they all work out. Every single one in scalp mode on the daily works out, by the way. Every single one, if you're patient enough and you know what you're trading. Okay, it takes a little bit of practice. But here is your Easy Entry Pro right there. And look at the move we have here on Qs. So you guys, anybody that doubts that the Easy Entry Pro doesn't work, it does the work for you, man. I'm telling you straight up, it does the work for you. The only thing you have to do is figure out psychologically how to trust it. That's the biggest reason that people don't make money, you know, especially trading Easy Entry Pro, is because you talk yourself out of the trade. What if this is the one time that it doesn't work? And you got to tell yourself, so what? What if it is the one time it doesn't work? It doesn't really matter. It doesn't. Because if you're willing to hold through the other ones, and this is why I tell you guys, you gotta keep data. You gotta keep data every day. This is how I play meta. I play meta in Tesla almost all the time. I'm more like meta than Tesla at the moment, you know, because it's doing what it's supposed to do. I get a minimum of a $3 trade every day on meta, a minimum. If you guys understand what that calculates out to, if you got 5, 10, 15 contracts, you're looking anywhere from $300 to $800 per contract. My contracts have costed $3.50, right? That contract, the original contract that I took on Meta today was $3.50. That was my starting position. All the other ones were $4.15. It's at $10 right now. The high was at $10.75, almost $11, right? So do the math there. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You know, we're up $700 per contract. Okay, $700 per contract on that trade. That's not bad. Now, the bigger the account you have, the more that you take, you know, the more you have to hold for the bigger moves. You know, you guys, once your small account grows, you know, I just take and sell in a small account at $100 per contract on Meta. This is just Meta now. I'll hold it until I get at least $100 per contract because I know it's going to hit. If I get to 85 per contract, I sometimes get a little jumpy and I might sell one, but I do my best to hold. And even if you get to 85 a contract and you get stopped back out at negative $50 a contract, that's okay, because I'm going to tell you right now, I know this because I have the data. I know this for a fact, not just saying this, that Meta produces over 90% of the time on the Easy Entry Pros a $3 plus move. And I also know that if we get past $4.50, I think it's 4.75 on Meta, once you get past 4.75 points on Meta, you now have another 70% chance of that running another $3 to $5. Okay, so if you look at Meta here, and this is all based on the data. Okay, it's all based on the data. Look at this run here. We got the Easy Entry Pro, and there's our $3 run right here, roughly into the crush it zone. Okay, now that zone is telling us that we're going to get a reversal. You can see price reacts, right? It reacts at about $5.90. But once we hit that area right here, look at that. That's about $5.48 right in this area right here where it consolidates. Now, I know if it breaks that level, there's a good chance it's going to move another $3 to $5. And this just moved $6 more off of that break of the 475. Does that make sense? I got to double check. I think it's 475. But so once again, if Meta gets to $4.75 in the data and we break $4.75, then you have a 70% chance that it's going to run another $3 to $5. Okay, very rarely do you break 475 and it comes back. So, you know, 30% of the time, so 3 to 10 times, it's not going to work out, which is fine. You just take your stop out. They either work or they don't. And if they work, then you just let those run for what? $3 to $5. Why would you get out at 75 cents or a dollar run when you know that 70% of the time it runs $3 to $5? Okay. Those of you on YouTube, you're getting a free class right now. If you're in the room and you're in the room is free. If you want to get into the room, you guys, we do have classes absolutely free. So if you're getting into trading, you want to learn how to trade, make sure you check it out. All right, you guys, that's it. That's all I have for the day. I am not taking any more trades. Kind of bummed I did not really get an NQ today. There was well, let's go to NQ. Let's recap it real quick because there was trades on it. I just was focused on stocks. And really, if I was taking my minis or my micros, I definitely had some room to move here. So here's your Easy Entry Pro right here. I'm going to show you how this works, and sorry for the messy charts. I draw this level going across here. And you can see that this price does retest the Easy Entry Pro once, almost 2 times. And these are good add spots into the trade. So if you're taking, micros, I don't know if you'd be able to hold. These are big candles at the open, about 60 points, I think. Let me just double check here. About 40 points. These are about 40 some points. And 40 points on 5 micros. If you're trading in a prop firm, let's see what would that calculate out to be. So you got 40 points times 5 micros times 2. It's $400. Well, it's about, at my Apex, is about $2,500, to blow the account. So, I mean, $400, it's not bad. And then I would add to those trades, right? As price moves up, I get another green candle. Now, my bullish candles are all white, okay? My green ones are saying that we got momentum. We got Easy Entry Pro status on those, okay? Hang on one second here. And when I get those, then I know I can get into those trades. And you can see that we get good moves to the upside here. But if we're focused in on just the Easy Entry Pro, there's your Easy Entry Pro right here to the upside. Nice move. And here's your Easy Entry Pro to the downside. We got a nice move here. It's trying to push to the downside here. So we'll see how this one works out. You can see that the Bollinger Bands are kind of tight here. We need those to open up a little bit. And we need that to channel to head to the downside to get that win on that one. So anyways, that's all I got for the day. That's all I have for the day, you guys. Take care. Have a good afternoon. And we'll see you all bright and early tomorrow morning.